Good evening and welcome to San Antonio FanChat or San Antonio FC FanChat. Did I get that right this time?
FanCast. Strike
0 for 2. 0 for 2. Well, this is a sad day for me. The Rockies paid an anniversary of the Rockies paying the Cardinals to take its best player.
Happy anniversary to everyone who celebrates Nolan Arenado coming home to St. Louis. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go, baby.
And they've won the same amount of rings as the Rockies have, so we'll just leave it at that. So
we'll see what happens in the next couple seasons, but hey, they've gotten close. We've gotten pretty dang close.
Yeah, they're not getting by Houston.
Won the division twice.
They're not getting by the Dodgers. They're not getting by the Padres.
Yeah. We've already gotten past the Padres, so that's
haven't kept
that's
up
gonna happen again.
The winter baseball is that winter season. I don't know if that's really been the hot stove. I haven't heard a lot about that this off season.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, spring training's right around the corner. Pitchers and catchers report here in a week or two, and I know a lot of the guys are getting ready for the World Baseball Classic coming up. I know.
Thank you, Matt.
I know Nolan Arenado. Speaking of Nolan Arenado. Tommy Edman, they're both going to play for the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic coming up in March, so that's going to be exciting to watch for sure.
Oh, nice. So
the U.S. team is absolutely stacked, though, so that's a must-watch. They should win. They are stacked. Sorry,
we were hoping for player news, and the only player news that we got just broke today. Unfortunately, Yasser Khmiri is not going to be going to San Antonio FC. He is going to be staying and playing with ES Sahel there in Tunisia. Digging through the reports, kind of going through and having stuff converted here. It looks like he signed a 2-year deal. ES Sahel is one of the better teams in Tunisia. Rafa, I know you sent us a text of what they accomplished. You want to tell a little bit about the club that he is signing with?
Yeah, it's one of the like I said, you mentioned, like they're one of the better teams in Tunisia. They've won plenty of trophies, especially in the African Nations Club Championships. They've actually made an appearance on the World Club Championships not too long ago. So he's going to, like I said, one of the most valuable teams, and we're going to miss him. And I guess they saw all the good work he did here the last few years and decided to cut him a good check over there to stay home. And, best of luck to him. And I don't know if he wants to come back for on a loan, we're open arms for him to come back. So, but good luck to him over there.
So, but your thoughts, Royce? I know this. I think this one stings a little bit because I think all of us thought he was coming back, and unfortunately, we were all wrong.
Yeah, it hurts. We were, a peek behind the curtain. Everyone was talking about doing a Johnny Bravo tifo for him because of his hair. So, yeah, that stinks. He's definitely an integral part of the team last season. He did have some injury issues toward the end of the season. Same thing with the prior season. Seemed like kind of a hamstring toward the end. But, man, he was dominant in the air, and he was a very valuable piece for SAFC for sure in the championship run and even the conference final run the season before. So he's definitely going to be missed. Good luck for sure, Chasser, in Tunisia. I'm super happy for him, though. He gets to stay home. He's obviously going to get paid, and he's going to be on one of the more and he's going to be on one of the more successful teams in Africa in general. So win-win-win for him. For us, it stinks, but we'll be following him obviously as much as we can.
So that leaves basically 4 players still to be determined. Santiago Patino, which you figure if he's going MLS, you're probably going to start to hear about that fairly quickly. Saeed Abdul Salam, Jordi Delim, and Grant McCullough, the backup goalkeeper, signed late in the year after Cardoni retired for that here. So If you were to take a guess, any of them come back? One or four? How many do you think comes back out of those four?
Rafa, what do you think?
I think Grant's got the best shot because he, given the situation with Jordan, you never know. Maybe this could be his last run here, or he moves up to MLS the next season. So I think Jordan fits the bill with our team as far as the size. He's a great goalkeeper. Martinez knows him since he was with Iowa. So I think he'll make a great fit. I think also to bring in Delem too. Delem's now that we were lost Kamiri, Delem's kind of like a switcheroo lad. You can put him in the defensive holding mid, or you can play him on the outside of the defense. So I think those two make the right, the two best choices to bring back for the season, and then fill out the roster with how they what they've done the last few years.
I think actually I don't think any of them come back at this point. I think if they were going to be returning, I think they would have signed. Patino is the only one that I give a shout to, just for the fact that I do think SAFC would, but the rumors through the USL and MLS is that he's got possible MLS offers and possible big USL offers outside of San
Big
Antonio.
USL, yeah, big USL offers from what I've heard as well.
So, if you've got options, and as we discussed on the last show, the relationships matter. But let's be honest, at this level, where he is 24. You figure if he's going to make that MLS push, he's got to try to do it now. If not, he will quote unquote age out of the MLS pool, and try to grab that check. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes for that here. So, but I'm saying 0. Royce, what was yours?
I kind of agree. The only player I agree with Rafa is probably Grant McCullough. May come back if he wants to work under the tutelage of a Juan La Madrid and Jordan Farr again, which I think would be great for his career and his future outlook. But we'll see. Jordy, from what I've seen, is just enjoying his family in the off season. It doesn't look like he's really getting ready for a season. Obviously, I just following on social media, and yeah, I think Jordy would have the best chance if he wanted to kind of get his career going again. Obviously, he's in the MLS with Seattle for a long time, so perhaps he's done. I mean, he's with his family. He's a family man now, and cheers to him. Maybe go out a champion.
He's 28 awesome, too, so
exactly.
He is a little bit.
That's what
older.
I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
So, and Grant's 23.
But I think Grant probably has the more likely chance to come back, but we'll see.
Yeah. And then, of course, San Antonio FC will typically do 4 or 5 academy kids that will fill out. It'll be interesting for it here at the Crocketeers annual meeting last night. They had a representative from San Antonio FC that they did say that there are several moves that are on its way. So please be patient, Harry. Please be patient for that here. So.
Wear the socks all week.
But I wish we had more roster news, but Rafa didn't deliver this time. I hate to say it. I'm putting this on Rafa.
I probably need to start lighting the candles and see if we can get some of the players.
We need to start doing something. AJ said it's 41 days till we kick off against Oakland. Rafa mentioned we've got a preseason game
With 2-3 weeks.
Well, I mean, breaking news. If you want to break the news, training camp's already started. The team's already gotten together, and
They haven't
that
posted anything.
That happened Saturday or Sunday. Well, they'll post it. They'll probably post it Monday. But I mean, technically, the team's gotten together for their official meetings this weekend. From sources that I've spoken to, the first day was technically Saturday, and that's getting the paperwork done and everything. And then Monday, tomorrow morning, is when players actually hit the field and everything starts physically. So, which is kind of the reason for the show, is to get ready for everything and be exciting. Yes, we don't have more player signings. The roster is at 13 right now. But at the same rate, the signing announcements are going to come pretty fast and heavy, I think. And especially that, like we're talking about, that first game is going to be the first preseason game is going to come pretty quickly. What's the date on the first preseason game? I have the schedule up.
I think
preseason.
That one's on the.
Should have done that research, eh?
I think it's the 11th. So they're 2 weeks away from the first preseason game, because they have one on the 18th and then the 25th, right before the well, actually, because the home opener is the 11th, so they do have a game beforehand. So is it? So it's 18th, 25th, and I think the 4th. So they still got 3 weeks beforehand. And I'm just wondering if, I don't know what your opinion on this. Do you think they may go MLS heavy on as far as these signings? Like maybe there were like players that weren't utilized by them, kind of like Sam Adjederin, but will make the impact with us.
Yeah, I mean, they may be looking at that route for sure. And we know that is a thing that San Antonio likes to do. They like to wait for the MLS draft to go, watch the MLS draft, the draftees. And obviously, now that MLS Next is there, perhaps they go play MLS Next. But since MLS Next is a step down, a lot of the MLS teams are going to want their players to get more of a closer match sense and a closer match speed to the MLS, so they'll loan their players out to USL, and that would be, like you said, Sam Adjederin is a classic example of that. Patino was another classic example of that. He was selected by Orlando City, and they loaned him out to get some playing experience. So that is another a pretty good possibility that San Antonio is just buying their time. They're waiting for those borderline MLS players to become available and to go sign them. Nicky Hernandez, Matt Gamez, what's up, Matt? Says Nicky Hernandez ? We do know. I don't know if we said anything in the past show, but we the previous show, but we did see that he played for Defeaters in Dallas. Who's they're in PSL? Are they in PSL? So
Something like
that. He was playing for them. Obviously, it's a semi-pro. Well, it's an amateur team, right? So yes. That's not a contract-based thing. He may just be, just get on the field, go play, and to get ready for whoever he's going to go play for. But we have not heard anything as far. And I also reached out to our friends at Third Degree, who covers FC Dallas, and they've covered FC Dallas since '96, since they started. Third Degree, probably the best FC Dallas source out there, independent at least out there. They hadn't heard anything either. So big old shrug for Nicky Hernandez, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rafa, you are right. The first match is February 18th at Toyota Field against Tulsa. So, they got 3 weeks, so no rush. We do know a lot of other teams have a lot more preseason matches that are a lot sooner than the 18th, but San Antonio is going to take it slow, and they're going to get everything together, and they're going to be I think the show's intent for Al Marcina, he wants to build that culture, he wants to build that team, he wants to build that family aspect first, and then we'll get on the field and we'll be competitive later. But right now we need to build the culture, and we know Al Marcina, that's the big thing he talks about, is a collective and the culture of the group. So obviously that's an important thing to build.
So since we don't have a lot of player news for that here, we wanted to kind of go into a little bit more of the schedule for that here. I'll present this here. For that here. So for March, they got 3 matches. The Roots on the 11th, Loudoun away on the 19th, and then home against the Switchbacks on the 25th. Outside of the home opener against the Roots, any question or any comments on the first 3 matches?
Well, it's a quick a home playoff rematch between the Roots and the Switchbacks in the first month of the season. So that's pretty quick for those rematches. But playing at home, going out to Maryland, and then coming back home. That's a decent way to start the season. At least we're not completely on the road for the first month or 2 like Vegas. So,
and
not too
Loudoun will
bad.
be interesting because they're I don't know if they're I wonder if they're a more of a RGV type of MLS2 team, because
I don't think they've been purchased yet, have they?
yes, they have.
They have been purchased. Okay.
Yes.
Are they as late with their roster build as the Las Vegas Lights?
I think somewhat. I know they've signed a couple players, but I don't think they're at what some of the other teams are.
Actually, I don't know if it's as final here, but Greg Baroning, this was December 28th of Attain Sports and Entertainment founder, is close to finalizing a deal for Loudoun United for that here. Baroni, Attain Sports owns the Bowie Bay Sox, Fredericks Keys, along those lines here. So, and I know both of those. I know both of those clubs are decently decent in minor league baseball, or at least I'm aware of them, which is something to be said. So it will be interesting here, and they word it as will be the only USL championship team with MLS connections. So even there, they're already saying that it's not a 2 team, but it's a connection. So whatever that means.
That's such a loaded statement. That's so
So
dumb.
they're getting the scraps from DC United then.
But DC United, I think, is rumored to be starting their own team in Baltimore, I believe is what they're trying to do. But through there. So to me, like I said here, I like the home openings here. April goes April 1st away at Monterey Bay, home against Sacramento, away against Louisville, home against Phoenix, home against Phoenix, home against Vegas, and then turn around May 7th. So I know we're adding one more day, but at Vegas, so you got a back-to-back Vegas trip here. But April, it loads up. Sacramento, Louisville, Phoenix. Those are 3 heavy hitters there. Phoenix, to me, I think is going to be the interesting one because I do think that they're going to be a quality team, but they're going to be a much different team than the Phoenix of old.
Yeah, the one that kind of seems like a trap game and all that is definitely going to be the April 1st match against Monterey Bay, because they're bringing back a lot of players. Obviously, we know
Sam
Gleedles. Yeah, the fighting Sam Gleedles, the fighting Kai Greens. Kai Greens going back as well. But they're having a lot of returning players. In the beginning of last season, they were terrible, and they got better as the season went on. And even toward the end of the season, they kind of made it interesting in the race for the playoffs. So we'll see if they can put that together. If they can have a similar, if they can put it together earlier and they can have a better beginning of the season, then they'll be a playoff team this coming season. So I think that April 1st, mark that down as that's a trap game right there. And definitely the next three. I mean, that's tough. Sacramento, Louisville away, and then Phoenix. So
possible conference championship games. Minus the Louisville. Louisville probably could be another repeat of the final.
Very well could be. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Louisville. I know they're trying to they're in talks to sell one of the Winder brothers.
Has to be done in the next 2 days with Benfica, right?
Well, it might be. I mean, it might be a summer move. So
that's right.
May be
he's
in
got to be
agreement
18 to go. That's right.
Correct. So, well, does he have to be 18? I don't know if he has to be 18 for the Portuguese league, which is why a lot of guys go to Portugal first and then they go somewhere. I know Germany, you have to be 18. I don't know if
I'm almost positive.
Spain, you have to be 18.
I'm almost positive.
Okay. Well, it's very possible. So that would make it a summer move.
Because if not, he would have already gone already. Somebody would have snapped.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. But yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be tough. Sacramento, Louisville, and Phoenix. And then, like we were talking about, it's going to be a back-to-back Vegas, back-to-back games against Vegas. So that would be interesting. And we get the first match against Vegas after the XFL season at Cashman Field. So, man, that scares me. That scares me for what that
the field will either be trash or it'll be in good. It'll be in excellent condition. So it'll be one of the two.
I think it's going to be the former, but. Man, we'll see.
Best scenarios if we come out with 7 points in that 3-game stretch.
I think that's legit. So how many points do we think we're going to get in March against Oakland at home, Loudoun away?
I think we get the 9.
I think we get 7. I think we get 7 in March, and I think that's a good result. So
it wouldn't be bad, but I don't think the switchbacks are as good because they lost Burke. Loudoun away, I think San Antonio is still talent wise, even with what we have, the 14 players now, should still. And then the home opener, I'm assuming they're going to be raising some sort of flag. It's going to be special. The players are going to be jacked. The fans are going to be jacked.
And at the same rate, the Roots, I'll give you some credence onto that. The Roots lost one to Sokar. That's huge for them and huge for us because that's who we gained. And at the same time, their big striker, what was his name? Clausen Olofsson.
Mm-hmm. He went
back to his parent. He went back to his parent club. Correct. So yeah, that could be a 9-point month, which would be a great start. April. How many points do we think get in April? Y'all said 7.
Well, I think we can get the 3 at Monterey Bay. It'll be tough, but I think we can get the 3 there. But that 3-game stretch, if we come out with 7 points, we're going to be in very good shape.
Okay. So we say 6 points against Union and Vegas, and then 7 combined in the other 3 matches. So 13. So we'll start off 9 and 13. So we'll start off the first 2 months with 24 points.
I'm actually going to say a draw against Union. I'm going to say a draw against Sacramento.
Okay. And I agree with you, Harry. I think that is more.
Louisville, I think, could be our first loss just because it's in Louisville.
Okay.
I think they beat Phoenix, and I think they beat Vegas. So that's 8 points?
That's 9. 8? Oh, no, that's 8. You're right. Well, a loss at Louisville, it's 8. You're right. So start off with 15 points in.
But that to me, like I said, is Sacramento and San Antonio is always close, whether it's home or there.
It's true.
It's a 1-goal game.
One of our only losses last season was away at Sacramento, but it is here in
that one's here, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville's the one to me, just like when we went to San Diego
Mhm.
last year, where they had all the,
That's fair.
they had that one circled.
They had that circled, and at the same time, Alamarcina was like, "I'm not even going to start
ahead.
everybody."
But on this scenario, I think if let's say when they go to Louisville, we get a lead, we're gonna win that game. That's the thing. When we get a lead, no one can beat
Right.
us.
That's what SAFC does exactly. Is they get the lead. All right, let's shut everything down. You're going to give us a second goal because you're going to have a super high line. Okay, thanks.
And that
Appreciate
Phoenix
the 3 point.
match is going to
Mhm.
be a snoozer because it's going to be Phoenix is going to be one that they'll have the possession. It wouldn't shock me 70% in that match.
I think I don't think so. I think that is going to be I think that is the match. We're getting to it. That is the match that this club, especially with all the players that are returning, the biggest blip on last season was losing twice to Phoenix.
The Phoenix, yeah.
So I think that is the minute that schedule came out,
that's the one they
PC,
circled.
Maloney, Taintor, they're pissed. That's the one they have circled. JD, I'm going to score a hat trick in this match. They're circling that one.
Yeah, because we were shorthanded that game.
Correct.
And then that's
the
it's
one
kind
in
of like
Phoenix. We had every opportunity to win, and we just dude. You could have had it as big as
that was just not our night that night.
Exactly. We just couldn't finish. That's it, and it happens. It happens with the best teams. You just can't finish.
So moving on to.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, keep going. You're good. Moving on to May.
At Vegas, at Charleston, which will be much, much better. At Detroit City, which is a tough place to play. Yeah. And then home against New Mexico United, which a solid team for that here. But the 3 away in May. I'm going to go.
We completely skipped the biggest plot of the thing. Hold on. Let's go real quick. Right back. The Phoenix game we're talking about on the 22nd and the Vegas game on the 29th at home, both Fiesta matches. Both matches during Fiesta. We've never had 2 Fiesta matches. I hope SAFC is paying attention and they have a huge promotion for their Viva night for Fiesta matches, and they do a big thing for these 2 matches that are during
and
Fiesta.
Hopefully both teams go party out in Neosa too right before the game.
Good. Oh God. Let's
show up to
the opposing team's hotel room. Let's get them some tickets for Neosa, and let's leave some beads in their hotel rooms, and the rest will take care of itself. There you go.
So chicken on the stick too.
Yeah, perfect. All right, sorry. Let's go to May. Sorry, Harry.
So Vegas, May 7th. At Charleston, May 13th. At Detroit, May 20th. Detroit City. Home, May 27th, Saturday against New Mexico United here. So I think people are going to look at this road trip and think, hey, it's not that tough. Charleston's going to be good. They had a down year last year. They brought in the Memphis coach. Brett Pearman, I believe is his name. Detroit City in Detroit's always tough, playing at Keyworth. It's a smaller stadium. Always a tough crowd, probably one of the best crowds in lower league soccer and in USL. Vegas, you're already talking about the pitch. New Mexico, San Antonio is always an interesting match. Not necessarily close, but they're interesting. For me, give me I'll say 5 points. I think we get 2 draws and a win at home against New Mexico, and I think we take a loss either in Charleston or Detroit.
I think we get 10 points. I think we get a draw at Detroit. I think Charleston, yeah, they got the new coach and that, but still it's going to take some time to build up that team. Playing them now is probably it's kind of like the scenario you mentioned here last year. Like playing Detroit early on was probably the best thing because later on they got better. I think same thing with Charleston. Playing them early is probably we'll be able to get a sneak out a win. Because I think if that game's in towards the end of the year, it may be a little bit tougher situation for us. So I think we come out with 10 points on that one.
And I will say this: the Charleston Detroit City match is at that 10-game mark where we say, "Hey, the first 10 games we're always like, hey, don't worry, it's a long season, blah 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 blah." So just to kind of give you everybody kind of a idea of where that's in the schedule, that's right at that 10-game mark where you kind of get a real feeling of what the teams will be in the year, pending injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Roth on this one. I think we get closer to. I think we get 9 points out of this, but I could see us getting 10 as well. Charleston's still going to be, there's still a lot more money has been put into the team, and they're trying to get them together. But that also means it's a brand new squad. It's gonna be a brand new system. So, and the same thing, Memphis took a little while to get started whenever they started their big run last season. So it's going to take them a little bit. So Charleston, we'll see where they're at that point in the season. But I think SAFC should take care of business there. They should take care of business in Vegas. Detroit away, it's going to be a little difficult. And we'll see which New Mexico United decides to show up. Or is it going to be giving up a hat trick to Cristiano Pirano, or is it going to be the team that shows up at a baseball field and just packs the back line? So we'll see. At the same rate, speaking of New Mexico United, just want to give a shout out to Devin Sandoval for his retirement
on his terms this time.
Yeah. Congrats on a great career, man. It's fun watching you play. I hated that you played against us, but it was still a pleasure watching you play, man. All right, and let's move on to June.
At San Diego at home on June 3rd. Saturday, June 10th against El Paso, the Oli Copa Tejas match on a Saturday. On Wednesday, June 14th at San Diego, and then a 10-day break, and then at Sacramento. For me, give me 7. I think we beat Loyal. I think we blow out El Paso, and we get a draw either in San Diego and probably a loss in Sacramento.
I can see that. And that's 2 quick turnarounds against the Loyal. So that'll be interesting. They are no longer the Fighting Lane Donovan, so that's something to talk about. And yeah, El Paso is going to be a new team. They're going to have a new coach. That's going to be another team that has to be put together again. The Loyal are probably going to be under the same system. I think they have a similar coaching staff.
Change.
Pretty much. And then Sacramento is always tough, so we'll see how that goes.
We never get the calls in Sacramento. Never.
Is there like a 10 day between games between the Loyal game away and Sacramento?
Yes. There's 10, so that weekend is going to be open. We'll see what happens.
So we could probably steal one in Sacramento with that rest.
Yeah.
Because depending what Sacramento is going to play prior to playing us. I said that's an opportunity to maybe steal one from them, or at least steal some points, like with a tie. I can see us maybe getting, just that from that. I think maybe between 7 to 10 points.
And something to bring up, that June 3rd home match against the Loyal is going to be the first match where SAFC slightly alters their schedule, and that's going to be an 8 a.m. match instead of a 7:30 match to try to let the sun go down so the game time temperature isn't as high. So it looks like they're going to try to implement that strategy again that they implemented last season, just to try to make it more comfortable for the teams and for the fans as well.
So Sacramento does play Monterey Bay on the 17th, but no Wednesday match for that here. So they do not.
Yeah, that could be a trap game for them because they may be looking past some Monterey towards us.
So, and that's also at in Sacramento, so they'll have 2 home matches, and that Monterey Bay Sacramento is turning into a rivalry as well as expected for NoCal.
It's fun.
July, we got 5 matches. The first against the Fighting Kailers, the Birmingham Legion. July 7th, AJ's birthday at Memphis, 901. The following Wednesday, July 12th, at El Paso. Home, a 10-day break then again, and then home against the Miami FC.
Oh,
And
God.
then home against
The Fighting
Matt
Tab Ramos.
Shelton and the Hartford Athletic comes to town. So 3 home matches and 2 away matches. I think they get 15 points.
Yeah, that's what they should get, to be honest. That's what they should get. The Legion are going to be a little bit stronger this season, but I don't think they're going to have as strong as a midfield as they did last season with the loss of Harreville. But we'll see how they get put together. They did get Nico Brett back from New Mexico, and to be honest with you, he didn't do a lot in New Mexico.
Didn't do anything.
Correct. So we'll see how he does returning back. He obviously didn't seem that happy in New Mexico. So we'll
And
see if he
Legion
comes
lost
back.
Dean. They're all USL. Left back to Chicago Fire of MLS. So
Okay, yeah, that's right.
They
That's
lost
right.
one of their best players. Memphis is doing the RGV late.
Oh God! No, they did the Miami Marlins. Let's get rid of everybody. Give me all the money
again. So including the coach. So that one's there. El
Great.
Paso. It's a Copa Teos match, but I don't like what I see from El Paso. And I'm sorry, seriously, Loco, but I think your team is trash this year. For that here.
Just like Chico's Tacos.
No.
Hartford will be interesting because that's what Tab Ramos. And
Correct.
Hartford has brought in better players this year than previously.
That'll be
Wait
competitive.
Wait a minute. They did not, Ever Guzman retired, and they didn't bring him back, and that's been their best player ever of all time. So obviously they haven't improved since ever. So shout out to Ever Guzman.
So I went 15. Everybody going 15, or is anybody going 12 or 13?
I'll go
lower?
13. I'll go 13 because we are pretty sure that weekend is going to be a what weekend would that be? 7 minus that is 15. So the 15th, that's probably going to be a friendly weekend. So we'll see what kind of friendly they bring in, whether it's a Liga MX team or who they set up right, which we know certain other European teams are going to be doing a U.S. tour. We'll see who they play. So
and they bring Wrexham.
Well, if we get Wrexham, we'll be on ESPN, and MLS will hate us even more.
And if they brought Stoke City one year, I'm sure they can bring Wrexham.
Cry more.
I need to stop engaging in that conversation.
No, it's so stupid, dude. It's so dumb. Like, just to fill everybody that's not in the social media circles, a lot of MLS fans and people and whatnot are complaining about the coverage that Wrexham United has gotten from ESPN and the production that they had for the FA Cup, which, breaking news, the ESPN has had rights for the FA Cup for years, and they've always done it big for a lot of the big matches, especially the matches they think are going to be upsets. So, or cup sets, if you will. And the Wrexham United match was, spoiler alert, almost a big cup set. So they've always done that. But they're complaining that, if ESPN would have done this for MLS would be a lot further along. No, not really. MLS it's a closed league. There's not a lot of that underdog. There's not a lot of that David and Goliath with an FA Cup. The US Open Cup, if they were to take that over, which they do show certain US Open Cup matches, they always have those. But hey, MLS always is like, a lot of MLS fans don't really pay a lot of attention to US Open Cup because it doesn't matter to them. And then whenever they show the FA Cup, they take exception to it. It's a little off-putting, and it's a little brother syndrome to a lot of people that big brother a lot of USL fans. So anyway, That's let me get off my soapbox and let's continue to August.
August, there's 6 matches. At Phoenix on the 5th, at New Mexico on the 12th. Follow up, short week against RGV at home on a Wednesday night. Home against Monterey Bay on Saturday, the 19th. Home against Pittsburgh. And then at RGV on the following Wednesday for here. So this one's tough.
Yep.
I think we get the 9 points at home. I think we beat RGV, for the here, so that'd be 12. But that's right about the time where SAFC typically has a little bit of a lull. And to me, it wouldn't shock me if they came up empty against Phoenix and New Mexico, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing.
I think we still won in New Mexico. We still either with a win or a tie. Yeah. Well, maybe if you go, you're kind of like the good luck charm when we get the points finally winning over there. I think with Phoenix, I think that's maybe a loss. I can see us maybe losing that game.
Royce pointed this out earlier. You figure they've got the rising matches circled. So, but
SAFC is always go ahead.
I was going to say, but here's another thing. Like we mentioned about July. That's when we make our move.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's when we sign our X factor that takes us up a notch. Which last year was, like I said, in June was their veteran, and then in July we ended up bringing in who did we bring in? I forgot who else. But we made the key moves to take us.
We brought in Delim late.
Pirano was not till August.
Pirano was a little later, so we brought in Nacho. Nacho was
the one in July, yeah.
So yeah, those were the guys we brought in, and they were all X factors. They all played pretty integral parts of the championship run for sure.
And I think that's
part of the season when we do take some unfortunate losses that you don't expect. And that's, to me, I think this would be the perfect time to do that before. That way, Coach Marcini can get on them and especially with the 3 games at home before they had out and for 3 games, after that. So I said I had 9, 12. So I had 12 points out of those 6 matches.
Sounds about right.
I think we get 13.
Could be.
I think we get, maybe I think the Phoenix may be a loss, but I think New Mexico, I think we steal a point or maybe even steal a win. Just depending on how good they're playing towards that. And that's another key. How well they're playing by that time. Is it going to be like a cluster bomb like what happened to Phoenix last year? Or is it going to be like what we were doing, kind of be on the roll?
What do you got, Roy?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Definitely, I honestly think those are two going to be super tough matches for SAFC, and we may lose 2 in a row right there. Phoenix away is always tough. They've always played us tough away in Phoenix, and New Mexico United in that baseball stadium with the super narrow field. Their team's always been really well set up to play there, and we've always had real difficult times getting results in Phoenix, and we've always had a very difficult time getting results in New Mexico. So that'll be 2 really tough games.
So September, we have a Sunday match in Tulsa on a Sunday, but it's Labor Day weekend, so hopefully we can get a good crowd that goes up to there, because you can hopefully not have to miss work on Saturday, go up Sunday, and come back Monday. If you're driving, or a cheap flight, if you want to do the Frontier, that type of thing. At Colorado Springs on September 9th, home against the Rowdies, and then home against Orange County on September 23rd, and then at Oakland Roots on September 30th. Give me Give me 15. I think we get by the Rowdies. I think that's the toughest match, but it's here in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. We'll also see how the how OC is. Last year, obviously, OC had a very off year. They were what's the word I want? Awful, very bad. So we'll see
From
if they
first
can
to
put it
last.
together. Yeah, we'll see if they can put it together. Yeah, first to worst for sure. OC last season,
In the
but
West.
we'll see.
In the West.
We'll see if they can put a better product on the field, and we'll see how they go from there. But I could also see 15 points for sure coming out of this. So I'm going to mark it down as 15. Rafa?
I think we get a tie at Tulsa because we're always, every time we go up there, we usually get a tie.
It's fair.
I think Colorado, I know they're going to be jacked up for that game. I can see us maybe lose that one, but if we come out with a tie, that's great too. We'll take care of the Tampa Bay Rowdies here at home. And then the same thing with the Orange County, we'll take care of them. The Oakland game, I think we can get a tie. But like I said, we've had their number there at their place, so
yeah.
But the only thing is minus Samadurin, so hopefully we have someone that can replicate
Replace the goals for him.
Very true. That's a very good
so
point.
I can see us maybe, like I said, like 2 wins and 3 draws.
Oh, 8 points.
That'll be 9 points. Like 2 wins and 3 draws.
Oh, 9 points, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 9. Okay.
And October, not counting playoffs. At OC on the 7th, home against Indy 11 on the 14th. Give me 6 points because until I see OC play, I don't think they're that good. And Indy 11 thinks it's 2019, 2018 with all the players that they're signing. So the only thing that worries me about that one is if San Antonio FC has everything locked up, because there is no bye week this year for the playoffs. So you figure that around the 21st they start. So that might be a game that they sit. So
players.
Actually, I'll go 4 points. I think we should get the 6, but because of assuming that we're not fighting for anything and we've got everything won, which I'm hoping we do by this point, I'll go a draw. Just like I think we drew the last match right this year
against OC.
Against OC,
but we had pretty much everything locked in already by like 2 or 3 games prior to that.
Right.
How many points do you think we get, Rafa, in October?
I think we can get the 6. And here's the reason why. If we're going to play the following week, you want to build some momentum. You don't want to go in with a loss.
Right.
And also that loss to Indy 11 over at their place kind of was a little stinger there. And it was a little embarrassing too. And I think the players will probably be out for revenge in this game and kind of take out their frustrations and kind of flex their muscle to show everyone else, hey, be ready for us. And hopefully, like I said, we've already clinched up the home field advantage.
All right, so let's review real quick. So April, how many points did y'all say we should get in the three matches of April?
No, April has
4, right?
5.
Oh, I'm
matches.
sorry. I'm sorry. Start with March. We're starting with March.
3.
I'm sorry.
I said all
so
9
the 3
points.
And Rafa, what'd you say?
I said all 9.
9. Okay. And May? How many points in May?
What about April?
Good Lord. April. I'm all over the place. Man. March, April. How many points in April?
April is Monterey base, Sac at home, at Louisville, Phoenix, and Vegas for right here. So give me 9.
I say 12.
You say 12. Okay. And then May?
May is at Vegas, Charleston, Detroit City, and New Mexico at home. So 3 away. 6.
I say
10. I say 10.
7 and 10. Okay. And going back to June?
June, San Diego, or home San Diego, home El Paso, away San Diego, away Sacramento. So 6, 7.
I think 7.
Yeah, I believe that's what y'all both said. In July, Harry, you said all 15. Rafa, what did you say for July?
I think, let's see.
Legion, Memphis, El Paso away, home against Miami, home against Hartford.
Yeah, 15.
15. Okay. And August, how many did we say?
So at Rising, at New Mexico, home against RGV, home against Monterey Bay, home against Pittsburgh, and then a short week Wednesday. So both RGV matches are on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So
say we get 13.
I'm going to go 12.
Okay. Which is insane. A 7 match month, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So
and then September there's 4. I went 12.
September, you said 15.
Yeah, 15 with Oakland Roots. Yeah, sorry, 5
Right.
matches.
And then October, you said 4. So hold on real quick. So try and do some quick math here. And my brain is not having it right now. So 32 and 15.
Yeah, that one I think we get
47.
13 as well.
You said 9 earlier. You said 3 draws and 2 wins.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So now, yeah.
Okay, so 40.
Something must have happened in the football match because
Sorry, it's awesome. Y'all talk. Y'all chat about.
So let's see. Next up on the rundown, what's going on with the Q team? Because I don't want to get made fun of pronouncing Kataro again.
Get out.
That's still kind of, them pushing him back. I don't know what. Like I said, those Liga MX owners really kind of. They have a lot to say on this, but there's been also some suitors. I did hear about Alante wanting to purchase a team so they can get back. Like I said, I still think hopefully there's someone here in this town to buy the team and bring it over here, especially with that new tournament that they're doing, and then also with that new club competition as well. That's going to be coming out. They're going to get the best club teams from CONCACAF versus CONMEBOL, not nations team, club teams. So you're going to see teams. It's not Argentina or Brazil is going to be coming. You're going to see teams maybe, hopefully like Boca Juniors, Palmeiras, Corinthians, Colo Colo, and then against our best teams. Like I said, maybe like Seattle, LA Galaxy, LA FC. And then the best from Mexico. So that should be real interesting tournament for that.
And then was it Copa Americas?
Mm-hmm.
That was finally announced here as well, correct?
Yes, sir. And that should be fun. I think it's needed because with the UEFA League of Nations, South American teams and also our CONCACAF teams can't really play some of the better teams over there. So you're kind of better off making this tournament. I honestly think they should just get rid of the Gold Cup and
yes, 100%.
Make this a permanent thing. Get your 6 best CONCACAF teams versus the 10 best CONMEBOL teams, or the 10 CONMEBOL teams, and the other minnows from CONCACAF can have their own little tournament, whatever.
I think you should have. I think you should have the 10 from
The 10 CONMEBOL, yeah.
I
mean, here's another thing on the idea. You know how CONCACAF did the League of Nations? I said, well, why not do a League of Nations with both federations? I think that's how to be.
That's what
two groups.
I think we're heading toward a super league of some sort, kind of like a Champions League of the Americas. For that here, I just think money wise, it makes too much sense to be able to do that. We're already starting to see it at the nation level, but you can't tell me that money wise, whether it's Paramount, but HBO Max, NBC
ESPN.
wouldn't jump on that, or even the Spanish, would be huge with Univision or Telemundo. So
Telemundo.
I envision we're going to be creating a Champions League type of thing for the Americas.
I think eventually.
I don't know about a Champions League, but I mean,
yeah, that's what like Russell was mentioned. Like they're gonna probably expand Copa Libertadores into like a Super Cup, because you also have the Copa Sudamerica, which is kind of like your Europa League. So you probably can see two competitions. So you have your best, and like I said, so you can have a mix of all the teams from there. And I think it's great. BN Sports, I think they have rights. I think to Copa America, to the Copa Libertadores, but I'm sure NBC, like you mentioned, NBC is willing to fork over the cash to post it on Peacock or something. To get those games. I think it'd be more viable, because can you imagine, having like Boca Juniors come over here play against like LAFC. That's a sellout.
So
real quick
final
to finish up
topic.
Real quick to finish up the schedule preview that we had. According to Rafa, we're going to have 81 points on the season. It's going to be another record-setting season. And Harry, you had him at 78 points, so they'll tie their. I'm pretty sure they'll tie their season total from last season. So
what did you have?
We'll see. We have a lot of returning players, but we'll see. I just counted y'all's. I went with let's average them out. 79.5. There we go.
We break the record.
So
I do think there's more losses that happen in there, but of course,
I do too.
Or maybe more ties.
I do too, but we'll see.
On paper,
This
is what I think happens with our 14-man roster at this point. So we don't have no injuries, and like I said, all players are 100% fit. So
I mean, like, we're one of the teams that's not actually starting
we'll
over.
see what happens. This is all speculation, and hey, we don't have a lot to talk about. Trying to drag this out.
So final topic, real quick. You mentioned the Victory Financial Training Facility, because Spurs Sports and Entertainment partnered with Victory Financial, Victory Capital, or Victory Financial. I used to work for them, so I'm a little bit slighted for them for here. So I'm going to stay out of it here, just in case I do need a job. I want to be able to go back. So I will.
Smart.
I will
Keep your
abstain
opportunities open.
from that here. But your thoughts on partnering with Victory Financial?
It's always good to have that that title sponsor for sure. That means money coming in. That's great, especially for Spurs Sports Entertainment, for SAFC. There's a couple questions that are going to come along with this. Number one, as far as the Spurs go, what does this mean for AT&T with the AT&T Center? Obviously, they signed a 1-year deal to maintain the naming rights for the AT&T Center through AT&T. So we'll see if that continues. The second thing, and the biggest question that pertains to San Antonio FC, we have heard that obviously Spurs players and the SSNE athletes are going to be training at the facility. Does that mean San Antonio FC players get to also train at the facility? Are they going to build a practice soccer pitch out there? Are they going to continue at Star? Are they going to commute between Star and the Victory Financial Center? And the most important question for fans, for the FanCast, and they've talked about having games. They've talked about having watch parties for games at the Victory Financial area, the center. Are they going to have watch parties for San Antonio FC matches? And that's going to be an interesting thing to see. I wish I would have made it in time to the Crocketeers meeting, because I would have asked that. But I'm looking forward to at the next
They win
event,
that.
possibly the open practice, is to ask, hey, are there going to be any watch parties at the Victory Financial Center when it opens, which I think it's supposed to open later this year, correct?
Bobby Perez wasn't there. He was supposed to be there, but
Oh,
something came
okay.
up, so he was not there. So you would not have got that answer.
So if they do build a field out there, so that would mean they would have to move the players to live in that area, since a lot of them live in that apartment complex near Star.
That apartment complex.
So they probably have
Mhm.
to live over here towards the rim. I mean, it makes sense if it's going to be all total sports, SAE type of things. That makes sense, but then they would have to probably bus in the players, for the games, which I'm sure they don't have no problem with that.
I'm gonna go a different way. I'm gonna say no, but I do think if you're injured, you're gonna be able to rehab over there. So they'll take a car and they'll rehab. So you'll get so from the medical aspect, you're gonna get the best facilities and along those lines. The day-to-day training, I don't see them moving.
Right. I think they stay in that apartment complex. I think that's too convenient for Star. And I think they still they do the on-field stuff there at Star. But I think the workout. So typically, especially for training camp, I think next year is going to be the first year. But typically for training camps, you do 2-a-days. You do a morning workout, you do the training table stuff, and then later on in the afternoon is when you get out there and you actually do it, or vice versa. Especially when the weather starts getting warmer, you'll switch that up. You want to be outside in the cooler weather, and then you want to take care of your training table stuff and your workout regimen in the afternoon and in the heat of the day. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm interested to get an answer, and I would love to ask a new representative to see if that's the plan going forward. And that's exciting for the players. It's exciting for the fans, honestly, because that huge Victory Financial Performance Center is going to be a big old look what you could do if you come to San Antonio FC, and it's going to be a good pool to get some of the top players, more of the top players to come play for SAFC. So that is exciting.
So I know you want to keep it around an hour. We're at an hour. So if you want to do your poll for what match you're looking at, or away match along those lines, you can, or along those lines here.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a post right now, and I'm just going to ask everybody out there, what is the most likely away match that you would go to, and what is the home match? What is the home match that you're most looking forward to this season? So I'll just ask the question. I'll get answers. The majority of the answers I'll put a poll out, and we'll see what the answer is, because I'm kind of curious as. Are people going to say, the closest home match that's on a weekend, which I think that would be RGV, or not RGV, but Tulsa, because the RGV away and El Paso away matches are going to be during the week. So I'm kind of curious to see what the answers are. And for the home match, we have a lot of teams. Well, we have a couple teams that we haven't seen before at Toyota Field. Are they going to be those? Are they going to be the Copa America matches? Are they going to be the Fiesta matches in April? Are they going to be the most likely July 4th match on the 1st? So we'll see. We'll see what those answers are. I'm curious to find out.
So my last thing here before we get out here, and I don't know if it's a season ticket, is SAFC season ticket thing or not, but check your emails, because they did a survey for that here where you could win some Spurs, some SAFC gears or something along those lines here. But it's a year in survey basically, and then they also, I think they announced a season ticket member event. Was it open practice? I want to say sometime in February. I'm trying to think here. Oh, here it is. Open practice Monday, February 20th at 6:30 for that here. So Darius mentioned here he doesn't think it's a season ticket survey because he got one. So if you went to a SAFC match and you have your email, he most likely got a survey. So please fill it out. Any feedback that you have, positive, negative. That's how we as fans voice change along those lines here. So that's it for me. Rafa, any final thoughts that you got before we turn it over to Royce to get us out of here?
Just looking forward to see how this training camp starts and who else we bring in. Whatever players. Since we're about 3 weeks away from the first official preseason match, and like I said, they're excited about it. And I think also the new unis come in. I think in about a week
or two.
so.
Yeah.
So excited about that, and then also because like I said, did a little picture on the high school side, ready to go for another high school show on Thursday as well.
Royce?
I mean, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We're looking forward to the season. Obviously, training camp really officially starts ramping up on Monday. The player signings are probably going to come fast and heavy, or maybe they'll just roll out with a whole bunch of trial lists and we'll find out later and they'll do signings later. But either way, we're excited. 2023, the season's here. It's starting. We're starting up. Let's run it back and let's get this second star up here. So let's go. I'm excited.
The only thing is, if you get a second star, what does Robert do with this tattoo? What adjustment?
We'll find out. Maybe he'll take a poll. Maybe
he's gonna have to angle it right.
He's like, I'm gonna wait. We're gonna get 3 of them, so that way he can do
exactly.
So, but thank you for everybody tuning in. Like I said here, thank you, Rafa, Royce, Robert. I'm not sure why he called in sick. For the show here. I don't know. His Vikings aren't playing, so they were eliminated a couple of weeks ago. So who knows? But anyways, hope all is well with Robert.
Maybe he's a closet Niners fan and couldn't take that they got completely blown out by the Eagles. So
well, it doesn't help when you got you at quarterback who can't throw.
Well, yeah, no.
Well, you probably would have been able to throw further than Purdy could.
It's going to be pretty tough to play.
So, but yeah,
I can now throw it farther than he could healthy. So don't underestimate my arm at all.
Well, no, but he had he had a nerve thing, so he couldn't throw. I think he threw a 5-yard pass. That was it, and the rest was all handoffs.
Wonderful
for the second half. So
that sucks.
They didn't give him the shot in Varsity Blues.
That sucks. Well, when you can't feel it, you can't feel it. A shot's not going to help with that. So.
But Chiefs and Bengals, a little bit over 2 minutes left, tie ball game. So I'm going to hit the end button here, and I'm going to watch the game here. And if you guys want to hang out and chat, we can hang out and chat. But I'm going to turn on the football game. Peace.
Sounds good.